So how would you guys define family?
I would define family as the people that you love and you hold dear to your heart, who reciprocate that love in return.
Those that you can be yourself around.
Sure.
And then are in turn themselves around you.
So how does family change over time?
People change over time.
Relationships change. People grow differently.
So what implications does that imply?
What is implications?
That family does change. It ebbs and flows. It's not necessarily the blood relatives that you had from the time you were born. It's the people that you create your life around.
And that are around you in that present moment in your life.
Yeah.
So then how do you define our family?
I think our family is tight-knit. I think our family is eclectic at best.
We keep those close, and those far away, you have a hard time getting in.
I think that people that want to give time and support and attention are those that are most valued in our family's eyes and into our general everyday life.
So is this different or is this the same as your original definition of family?
I think it's the same because Dad and I both came from such fractured families ourselves that going into building our family, that's kind of what we were looking for, was more structure. Like,
if you're there for us, we'll be there for you.
Okay.
No matter what.
And then what do you think our 3 defining themes are that you notice throughout our system?
Perseverance.
Perseverance.
Um,
Stubbornness.
Wouldn't that be the same as perseverance, though, in some capacity? Well, no.
So how's perseverance our theme?
Through good times and bad times, I'll be.
Yeah, because we work through challenges and struggles and
Everyone's gonna see challenges and
look toward the future constantly and how we want to better ourselves as a family going forward, because that's key and that's what's fundamental, is the 5 of us together doing things.
What's another theme?
I would think love in general is a good theme for our family, because we do all love each other tremendously. Sometimes I think some people like
to the point where you need it.
I think it's
want
quite
it.
unhealthy sometimes.
You miss it when you don't get it.
We rely upon each other tremendously, I think, the 5 of us. I mean, it's one reason why your little sister wouldn't go too far away from school. I think it started to scare her a little bit to be away from us.
What's another theme?
I think a third theme might be, oh God.
What do you think, Dad?
Themes?
Yeah. What stands out for us?
What stands out for us? Perseverance, we already went with.
With love.
You know what? Humor, laughter, if that's the thing. Like, it's the one thing that brings us together, binds us. It's the one thing we've used to diffuse all bad situations.
Most people wouldn't want to deal with us because we're all sarcastic to a point of it's almost mean.
It's cutting sometimes, and like people's feelings get hurt when we're joking.
But it's never anything warranted or that's, I don't know, charged aggressively. I don't know. It's a main characteristic, I would say, in all of us.
The best steel is forged from the hottest fires.
Yeah. It's character building.
Take a good burn.
Any other themes, or those are main ones?
I would think those are the main ones. I mean, obviously...
I think the stubbornness too. I know perseverance is the same thing, but perseverance.
No, it's not.
I think perseverance is kind of showing that you got through it. Some of the things that has gotten us through it is just the pure stubbornness of not wanting to fail. Yeah, the one you can call it want to. You not wanting to fail, not wanting to be wrong, not wanting to change, not stubborn in a bad way, just stubborn in a good way. Like if everyone backed down at the first sign of adversity.
Well, it's good for everybody to have their own opinions and to be able to voice them, and that's what comes from that.
So then, just regular life cycle concepts. What do you guys think about like location? Like where we are as a family?
Family is where you put it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it can be easier or tougher depending on where it is, but it is what it is. And if family is where you put it, in all our definitions and all the things we think is family, you can put that anywhere and have it be true.
I think our family is sort of in flux right now, to be honest. Like where it is right now. That was the question?
Yeah, like
where's
location, like the
Location?
physical or
Well, right now it's kind of like it's definitely in the air. Where Taylor is going to end up, where you're going to end up.
My children are at an age now where they're not at home. They're not.
We know where
here.
Megan's going to be for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Dad and I just went through very difficult
Getting a
challenges
better
in our,
undergrad degree than
in
you
our
guys.
marriage, and so we're in a rebuilding zone. Yeah, great. So I think our family's in flux right now. If you were going to say like a location,
I don't think in flux is a good word though, because in
though.
flux, no, because it's in flux almost implies instability.
No.
And I don't think we're unstable.
I just think it's
right
ever
now.
changing. Our family's ever changing right now.
But
sort
in
of.
flux, I think in flux invokes that feeling of instability.
Well, it's definitely not unstable.
It's
the one stable aspect of everything.
So, which is why I don't think in flux is maybe a good word, or maybe I'm just misdefining.
I think it's just another life cycle stage of all of us leaving the nest, and it is just you guys now.
Yeah.
I guess it's
kind of what I mean by that. I don't mean it as a
uncertain. I think would be more. I think uncertain would be like a calmer definition.
But I don't think it's uncertain because I think that
just like I don't think it's in flux. Right? Like in flux to me is like it's in flux. Like it's up, it's down.
No, I think of it as motion. I think of it as like it's like not that it's unstable.
It's ever changing.
But it's ever because the future is completely open right now. We don't know where it's going to take our kids. We don't know where it's going to lead. Are we going to stay here? Are we going to move south like we've talked about? It's all contingent and dependent on, does Alex get married and move away? Does Megan get married and move away?
Well, now she marries Jake. He's got a fucking New York State pension.
Well, this is all on tape. Is Taylor getting married and moving away? Are career choices going to take them away? Are other things going to move them? Because I want to be where my kids are eventually and grandkids are.
Or at least centrally located where we can get to all of them.
Right. So, in my mind's eye, this is a time period where everything is just
so
sort of
wherever Megan and Liam go,
there.
That's where you guys have to.
Oh my God.
That's gonna ruin us all.
Okay.
All right, what about body image? How is body image a concept in our family?
I feel like I've been a horrible figure for that for my daughters because, as you know, I have horrible body dysmorphia myself. Had an eating disorder growing up and everything else, and it's constantly screwed with every image that I have of that. And I've tried really, really hard not to ever push that on you guys, but it's also really hard for me not to say things about my body that I know in my mind's eye twerks with you guys. So for that, I apologize, and you know I've apologized for that 1,000 times over.
I also had an eating disorder. I was a high school wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that says enough as it is.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
So.
No, there's... yeah,
that says
So
a lot.
that's that, yeah.
High school wrestler.
Yeah.
Losing weight day of, not eating anything and sweat it all out
Right.
with sweatpants on and a sweatshirt on.
I knew every scales soft spot in all of Central New York.
That's so disturbing.
I did.
And we're still both manic about it, which is why the scale's in our way.
I'm not manic about it. I just use it as a...
We both weigh ourselves entirely too much.
It is, whether you like it or not, your weight is an indicator of your health.
And we both are constantly on the scale.
So how do you guys look at physical and mental health in our family?
Sorry. Is that
It's all over the
question?
place.
Is that a joke?
It's literally all over the place. We have been in peak shape. We have been in the worst shape. We have
They're real issues.
had good mental health. We have had horrible mental health.
And contributing
And
to the
I
fact
think
that
everybody goes through that, and it's whether or not you admit that or not.
yeah, and contributing to the fact that I know for me
Trying
personally
to
that
find the
it's
happy medium.
a diagnosable crazy thing that like I've dealt with my entire life because I've always been worried I'm going to end up schizophrenic like my mother. That mental health has always been a jarring reality.
She said end up.
Yeah. So, yeah, mental health's always been vitally important.
What do you think is something that you always wanted to talk to us about?
Sure. It's something we've talked about since you guys were little, about your feelings and how you were dealing with issues. If you guys were having a bad, stressful moment, we stayed home from school and had mental health days. It was always important.
Yeah, it was. Mom always.
I didn't
Mom,
care what
Mom
they
always
said.
at a young age definitely gave you guys. She would just say to me, "Oh, Taylor needed a mental health day, Alex."
Alex is home today. Why is she sick?
Speaking
no,
of
because we are.
Mental health, though.
Jeez.
I mean, it's hard to get a word on edgewise with you sometimes. You're so loquacious.
I want you to know this is all being filmed right now.
I
So
know.
you being the
It's
prick
on
that
tape.
you are it's there.
Why am I being a prick?
Speaking of mental health, Alex, my daughter, oldest, has been one of the largest contributors into me figuring out what mental health really meant.
Well, yes, because
I
you took it seriously.
Can I even, like,
but I want to say this real quick. You took it seriously for your daughters, but you never took it seriously for yourself until then. Go back to what you were doing.
wait, you're gonna tell me how I felt?
I'm telling you what I saw.
All right, that's what you saw. I'm telling you what I felt.
Okay. Okay.
Was how much Alex meant to me and how much mental health meant to her and how much I never paid attention to it.
Yeah.
So you pay attention to it more now for yourself?
For everyone.
For mom too?
Yeah, for everyone. For everyone. For everyone. From the ground up.
What?
Nothing.
From the ground up.
It's all maddening.
What, that took so long?
Yes.
Are you guys better from it?
Yes.
Getting there. Would I say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Getting there? No. Yes.
I want mom, like, I foresee, like, mom in a much better place than even we are now. Like, yes, we're in a better place than we were because of it, but from where my vision of where it will be.
Well, we shall see.
Okay. What about death? How does our family look at death?
We don't.
Death is death. It comes to us all, and
I think it's terrifying.
There's the truth.
I'm honest.
You do
you
do what you do, and you live as long as you live, and that's that, and you have no control over it.
I'm really hopeful for cryogenics.
What about if we lose each other?
Oh, I can't even discuss that. Go to another topic.
Why is it too difficult though?
We gotta go back to the first question: what is family, and how much we pour into it.
What about if you guys lose each other?
It's not gonna happen.
What about romance? What about sexuality in our family? How do we define that?
How do we define it in our family?
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Well, how do you guys support romance and sexuality?
We've always told you that love is love, and that whatever you felt was right for yourselves in regards to your own sexuality was totally okay with us. That you should be treated with respect, that you should be treated with honor, that you should respect yourselves. That was the key fundamental thing I wanted to enforce upon you guys from a very young age, was that your bodies were your bodies, and whatever you allowed to happen to you via yourself or from someone else needed to be your decision always. That was conversations we had.
All right, that's not how we view sexuality. Though.
No, that's how I view their sexuality towards themselves. That I know that they
Mom
need to be
showed us how to
respectful.
put a condom on a cucumber when I started having intercourse.
Took you all when they were ready to have the sex talk. I took Alex to buy her first condoms.
We
I
are
took
2
all the
for
girls
3
to buy
for
their first
beating
condoms.
teenage pregnancy. We got 1 more to go.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I sat down and had the huge sex talk with you guys. So I didn't want anybody else to have that.
I don't know.
with you guys.
I don't know that like I don't know like that sounds like a PSA and not so much what you think about sexuality.
But I think it is what I feel about sexuality.
I think
that
what
my
Mom's saying is
daughter's
that
bodies belong to
sexuality is
them.
our
It's theirs.
choice, our bodies.
That's what I'm saying.
Everything's our choice.
They respect themselves and they allow someone else to respect them, then that's totally on them. I want them to own their own sexuality.
I mean, look at the shirt
that's
she's wearing.
That's what I
It's
said.
not a PSA.
That's what I said the other day, though, when I said, like, when I had somebody say to me, 3 daughters must be hard. What about
No.
all those boys? And
Bullshit.
I'm like, the only boy I ever have to worry about is the one that doesn't understand no.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you were saying.
So then what about romance? What does love look like to our family in romance?
Not hurting the other person
Yeah.
sometimes.
Being careful of someone else's feelings and respecting them. I mean, I think that's love. I think
Making
that's...
them feel good
Yeah.
when you can.
So you guys have 3 straight, cisgender, heterosexual female daughters.
As far as we know.
As far as you know. How do you guys feel about their choice of men in their relationships?
I think they've made horrible decisions. I
don't think that's true.
I feel personally attacked now.
I don't think that's true. I don't think they've made horrible decisions.
I think some of their decisions have been less
I don't think
than...
any of their decisions have been horrible.
I think
they made mistakes? Yes. None of their decisions.
So what do
have
you
been
want
horrible.
your children to have in their partnerships?
Happiness.
I want them to have respect. I want them to have loyalty. I want them to have someone who treats them with those characteristics. I want them to have someone who doesn't bring out toxicity in them, doesn't bring out toxicity in the relationship.
That's happiness.
It's not.
They just you should ask for them
not.
to have happiness.
It's not happiness. It's not happiness. There's so much more to it than happiness. And by me saying that, like, they've had horrible relationships, I think they've
horrible.
allowed.
Like you just
I can't finish the statement. Okay.
Okay. Way to turn. No,
I feel like they allow things to happen to them in their relationships they shouldn't allow to happen because of things they've seen. And because they've allowed... You can shake your head no all you want to. But if you grow up witnessing someone who allows certain things to happen to them constantly and roll over and turn a blind eye to it and accept certain things, they're going to accept those same things for themselves because that's what they've grown up seeing as a relationship.
Okay.
So let's look at then the romance between how our parents supposed to act. How do you guys show love for each other so your kids know?
We touch in front of them. We hold hands. We kiss. We have tried to show respect to each other over the years. Sometimes we've faltered. I think it's important that you guys always saw us cuddling on the couch and having quiet moments together where we were doing nothing but hugging each other or just being around each other like that. I think that's showing romance to your kids.
What does romance look like to you guys now?
The same. Romance looks like quiet moments where Dad and I are just sitting on the couch and holding each other, you know, and listening to each other and talking to each other intimately, listening to each other, really hearing each other, spending time with each other alone where we're enjoying each other's company. I think that looks like romance to me. You gonna answer?
You did.
You guys are cute. Okay, what else?
How much more?
Only a couple. All right, what about religion and faith in our family?
Difficult. Dad and I have very different views on that sometimes. It's never been anything I've ever forced on anybody because I feel like everybody's do their own decision on what they want to believe. I've tried to encourage that you guys believe in some kind of a higher power, whether that be God or something else. I think that that's important just to kind of guide you a little bit. But for Dad, I know he had a more difficult childhood with like religion, so for him it's not as easy for that. So I think we've kind of left it up to you girls to
whatever makes you feel
formulate an opinion about, do you need that in your life? Do you need that basis?
Okay. What about education and our career development? Our career development education in the family.
Super important.
Look where you're at now.
I mean, it's been paramount. It's everything. That you do well for yourself. Your want to is there.
Do you guys wish you did more?
Of course.
What's that?
Do you guys wish you did more?
I could quote Reagan here, but I won't.
Well, why wouldn't you? If that's what you believe. I mean...
No, I was just going to arrogantly quote how he said, a lot of people go through this world wondering if they made a difference. Marines don't have that problem. That wasn't the exact quote, but that was the gist of it. And he said it.
Are you guys currently happy with where you are at in your career now?
Yeah.
That's in flux too right now.
Is that why you guys pushed us so hard?
Of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you have any regret on how hard you pushed us?
No.
No.
Would you
I
do
really
it again?
don't. Oh, absolutely, 100%. People
I
used to
think
give
we pushed
me...
too hard. I think we just enough. And you know what? Not every kid was pushed different, but that's... Kids are different. People are different.
Right. You each were pushed to, I thought, what your capabilities were and what you needed
And what
for
was
yourself.
going to motivate
Yeah.
you at that time.
And I know sometimes you guys have looked at that on each other like, oh, Mom was hard on me here, or Mom, or, whatever, but...
You know all the bad shit
all,
you got away with.
you all
We
were,
didn't push you that hard.
you were all capable of different things, and I just wanted you to do your potential. What was your potential? What could you handle?
Oh, they're all capable of greatness. It wasn't that, but people achieve greatness at different speeds and different manners.
Well, right. Everybody had their own drive time for what they needed for whatever, and things that were
all I
going to
know
motivate
is
you weren't
we
going to
are
motivate Taylor.
Nearly a few months away from having a kid with a master's, 2 out of 3 kids with degrees.
That's it. You only got 3 kids, Dad.
Yeah, I know. So we're...
And Megan's working on a 3.9 right
And
now,
Megan is just a matter of time. I mean, literally nearly on a full scholarship. And so I think we did everything to help all 3 of you realize your potential.
What you do with that is up to you now. I want you to all be happy in finding what you're doing too. Like, it's not just about money and success. I want you to all find careers and paths that are going to fulfill you, like as people. Like, do I find value in this? Is this making me happy? Is this bringing me joy? Because I think unless you have that, it's nothing. Like, what in the world have you put yourself through, all the rigors you've put yourself through college and getting your degrees and your masters and everything else, and you talking about potentially going to get your PhD? I mean, if it's not something that's going to fill you, then why? I mean, that's necessary. I think so many people go through life not having that fullness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's horrible, especially when it's given to you and you have the opportunity to reach that. So yeah, that's my big hope for you guys.
ADHD's kicking in. All right, 2 more. All right, what do finances and our
I had a
socioeconomic
lot of
class
money riding on that free throw.
look
Not
like
a
in
lot.
a family?
Middle income is middle income. I mean, you guys never went without. You also, a lot of times, didn't know what bills I was pushing to the back burner to make sure that you guys weren't ever going without. There were always dance lessons. There were always travel teams. There were always new shoes and new clothes and new book bags and lunch and snacks, and we did it all without any assistance of any kind except for us providing it and putting it on the table and busting ass to pay bills and to make it happen. So,
but why does our socioeconomic class matter to our family?
I think it's taught us to all work hard and to value what we do have. Like things like vacations and things are not rare, but important because they do impact us financially, because it's money we set aside, it's money, it's things we plan for, where other families maybe where they have more money, it's not, you know, it's a common thing. For us, it's more of an appreciated thing, I think, because it's something we're working toward together to enjoy together while we're doing it. And I think you girls have always been very appreciative of the fact that Dad has especially worked so hard to make that happen for you guys so that you guys can enjoy things like that. So, yeah.
What do you think, Dad?
I think what Mom said, you appreciate it, but also I think to some degree I set a good example of going to work every day, which is what all three of you do. Whether you want to do it or not, you guys put in the work.
How do finances affect a family?
They're complicated, that's for sure.
In terms of money, we have no money.
Finances affect a family by pushing you guys to do well in school so that you could get scholarship offers to go to better colleges that you wanted to go to. That opened doors for you guys, because financially swinging it would have been detrimental to us to have to take out loans for 3 different children to go to 3 different private institutions.
Had they not pushed themselves and you guys been regular B students or C students,
it's I mean that so that
you guys would have gone to OCC, you wouldn't opened up the doors, you wouldn't.
You would have gone to a
you wouldn't have
college
created what you
bitched.
created.
Yeah, you guys would have gone to SUNY schools and bitch mode and complained about how you were going with everybody else. Right.
Who knows? And you would have even left there with like huge financial debt.
Right. I mean, so yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I can say financially, like for the family.
All right, last one. Children in all stages. Having kids. Did you want kids? Having kids now. Through all the stages.
Through all stages.
Through all stages.
So when I was young, like Megan's age, even before in high school,
And reference, Megan's how old?
Your sister is 18.
Okay.
Children were the epitome of unhappiness and awfulness.
Okay.
I'm the oldest in my family of all my siblings and cousins and everyone else, and so I did a lot of babysitting back in the day, and not that I didn't love them all. Beautiful, wonderful people. Children are gross. And I didn't really want kids. And then lo and behold, I got pregnant with you, and it changed things for me. I'm a firm advocate of abortion rights and a woman's right to choose, and in retrospect, looking at me and you and being pregnant with you, it wasn't something I felt comfortable doing. I loved your father tremendously, and it changed my viewpoint on
Who, this guy?
Yeah, that guy. Believe it or not. Wanting a child with him and you, and it made it matter all of a sudden. And I can't think about my life now in any other way or aspect than being your mother. And
Can we pause this for a second?
And having
For what?
wow. And having your sisters. Like, it wasn't a question of did I want more kids? It was a matter of my health that I didn't have more kids, because you probably would have more siblings.
It was a health, and you know what? With financial, you talk about it. It was also a financial decision to some degree.
It would have been more, yeah.
Which you hate for it to be, but I mean, obviously, we were capable of knocking out awesome offspring.
Sure. It was more my health though than anything else.
Yeah,
because we probably would have had one more,
We got
honestly.
we got extremely lucky that
I
we
didn't
didn't have
die.
a horrible situation with
Yeah.
any of the three.
Yeah, because I was really, really sick and all during my pregnancies with all three of you, and it progressively got worse each pregnancy. And I had preeclampsia, which is super rare. And I remember I just sent Dad some study the other day because they're developing some new blood test for it or something. But literally, like some small percentage of the population gets it once, and I had it all three times with you guys.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. The way I read it too, like there's a small percent of the population that is successful.
Successfully?
No, susceptible.
Is susceptible?
to it.
Yes.
So the fact that
Yeah.
you had it 3 for 3
Yeah, it was-
isn't as rare
it's-
as somebody having it.
But it is an anomaly that I had
Yeah.
it 3 times. So, yeah. So they were worried I was going to have a stroke and die after I had you. And then with Taylor, it was the same thing. And then with Megan, it was worse, obviously. And, yeah, so I would have liked to have had more children, but my doctor suggested that it was probably a very bad thing because I probably would end up having a stroke or a seizure during the next pregnancy. And so that ended that. So that's why you have 2 sisters instead of 3.
That's fine. 2 was enough.
You might have had another one. She would have been Charlotte. We already had a
And,
baby.
and then having kids in the home, raising the kids, what was that like as a family? What was parenting look like? What did co-parenting look like?
It was our daily. It was our everyday. I mean, you guys were the focus of our lives. Everything we did was to ensure that you were happy, safe, well taken care of.
How did raising kids affect your marriage?
You guys took up a huge part of our marriage for a lot of years because the marriage kind of took I don't want to say took a back seat to the 3 of you, but it does. Marriage takes a little bit of a back seat, I think, sometimes to raising children. You kind of forget about taking care of each other sometimes because you're worried about taking care
Especially
of your
for us, I
offspring.
think, because she wanted to be such the better mom than her, and I wanted to be such the better dad. And neither one of us was paying attention how to be the better husband or the better wife.
Yeah. Because we didn't have that growing up, and so we felt like we really needed to give that to you guys, not just to prove to ourselves even that we could do it. Because I always thought I was going to be a terrible mother because of my mother, and Dad always thought he was going to be a terrible dad because of his dad, and it was very important to us to prove that to ourselves, that we could be those people. So,
What about when I first went to college?
it was devastating. It was awful.
Why?
Having your first child leave the nest, are you kidding me? I mean, we're a strong, tight family unit, the 5 of us. I think that we're very codependent on each other, and especially you and I. And so you leaving for college was just this jarring stake in my heart, to be quite honest. It was you when you have a child, you wear, and this
It
is
was
so
like
cli-
Thanos, so it was inevitable.
it was cliche. This is very cliche, but like you wear a piece of your heart outside of yourself when your child walks around. And so then your child decides they want to go 500 miles away to a college.
Oh, I let Bubble outside and never let him in.
And it absolutely does this detrimental thing to you where you worrying.
Oh, I kept hearing
About that child.
I
little
kept
child.
hearing him paw at the window, but I just thought he wanted out, and I kept ignoring him.
But he's outside in the rain. Looking very upset.
Here you go, Mom.
And, so your child's walking around though 500 miles away and you have no idea. Have they eaten that day? Do they need you? Are they hurt? Did somebody say something negative to them that's hurting them? And you were very good about calling home and checking in, which God bless you for that. Your sister Taylor was a little worse with that, but you were with her freshman year, so that made it okay because I would hear things from you rather than her. Megan's very good. Megan checks in once a day at least. FaceTime sometimes twice a day. She's very codependent. It works well for my advantage because I know it's happening with her all the time. But yeah, you guys going to college has been a struggle because I love you all dearly, and we're all, like I said, we're just close. We're probably too close, but that's, yeah.
What about now? I'm turning 24. Taylor's 21.
Now
Megan's
you
18.
turn with a 24, 21, and an 18-year-old. I pray that you're all in happy spaces. I worry about your safety now more than I used to. Because you guys are out doing whatever, drinking, having fun, living your lives. Don't check in with mom when you do those things, which you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I do check in on your location sometimes. I will admit, when you say you're going downtown, I just make sure I know where you are, because there's horrible things that happen in the world. I don't want you to be part of it. It's hard to let go when your kids get older, but it's a necessary thing. You need to watch your children make their own mistakes, and it's awful to watch you guys sometimes do things, and I have to shut my mouth and just sort of watch and let the cards fall and pray for the best and say, oh God, wait for the inevitable call, somebody crying, somebody yelling about something. But that's life. What you guys need.
That's fine. My other siblings are fighting now.
Yeah. You know, I have puppies. And puppies, take up a lot of time. They're my new offspring. So, matter of fact, I might get another one. I have puppies. Maybe I get a third. What do you think,
Dad, do you have anything you want to add about us and the fact that we left for school and I live in a house now and by myself basically, and do you have anything you want to add?
It's life events, like it's the inevitability of it all. Father time is undefeated, and I used to say in the Marine Corps, you can't take away my birthday, so the clock keeps spinning.
But you know what's great too is that you look forward to like the next chapter, like marriage and grandkids, and
You think you're having grandkids?
God, I hope
The
so.
longevity of it all. That's that's what I hope for. Like
Daddy wants grandkids.
I do want grandkids. I want
He wants boys.
whether or
Never
not
got a
no,
chance.
I don't even like the boys. None of it even matters. Like the your family name and that.
Well,
like
Dad was just talking about
we were
this.
just talking about
Yeah, we
this.
just had a
My
conversation about
family
this
name may or may not
Carry on. Well,
carry
what?
on, and
What?
well, I mean, I could have a. Bastard.
Are we going to have a bastard son we don't know about?
But that being said, my DNA, our, and not just mine, but our
That's what he was crying about. When I told you he started crying, that's
our
what it was.
life legacy will continue on.
Yeah, through you girls, through his grandkids, through...
Our story is yet to be untold. Like, hopefully someday there'll be some young kid sitting there interviewing their parents, asking about
what
their
Dad
great-grandparents.
Dad said the other day, he got a little emotional. We were watching something, and he said, one day my great-great-great-granddaughter might
be doing a research project.
some genealogy project, and it'll be like, oh, here's this guy. There
No,
he is.
look, I really
There
am
he is.
Japanese.
He really was there, right? Like, and it'll be because of me, because I was their grandfather, and I was like, yes. So, I mean, it's cool when you think about it in that retrospect, that here we are, your parents, and one day we'll have grandkids.
It's
hopefully,
retrospect or
and-
that perspective, the right word there.
I don't know.
I think I'm in retrospect would be thinking of it in the past. When you think of it in that perspective, like a different way.
I've had a lot of
So I think
tequila,
perspective
and
and
we're just going to
retrospective.
go with what I said, and I'm going to be
You're not going to
ashamed of it
admit that I
later
was
if I
right
ever
on
hear it
in
again.
English.
It would be awful because I can't formulate a good
Do you-
thought right
do you
now.
guys- Final closing on family. Anything closing?
Final closing on family.
What do you think about in the future of how it grows?
How our family grows? I pray it does, because you girls terrify me constantly by telling me you're not going to have children, especially your sisters. Constantly saying you're not going to have kids.
Is our family gonna grow?
I would hope so. I would hope
Us five.
Us five? Well, I would hopefully. You guys will hopefully marry, and that'll make us a family of 8. And then you guys will have children, and that'll
If not, we're gonna
What's
get
that?
more dogs.
That's not, and they'll have grandcats. Grandcats are vitally important. You know, grandcats are beautiful, and you know, they love their oma. So
They do. Oh man.
they love their oma and they love their sofu. So yeah, we already have our names picked out. So you know,
Perfect.
it'll be really sad if nobody ever calls me oma and never goes Dad Sofu. So try
Now
it.
we're doing Oji-san.
Oji-san is more formal in Japanese when I looked it
So
up.
it's Sofu.
And what they kind of call it as a nickname is Gigi, but I think that'd be weird because I know a lot of chicks that go by Gigi in the South as like a
Yeah.
grandma name. So I think if Dad started to go by Gigi, it might be a little weird. I mean, not that, you know, gender type should have like any kind of a thing, but you know, people would.
It's on tape now. Oh
Oh, shit. I said that. That's right.
It's gonna be the most rawest video she ever receives. Thank you for letting me record you both. Love
You're
you.
welcome.